Hello and welcome to another episode of the Weekend Grill. Adrian Daher with you here. Paul Italiano, welcome back, mate.
It's good to be back, mate. I'll tell you what, it was hard watching on the TV last week.
Yeah, I'm sure it
that
was.
Carlton garbage that you and Sebastiani spoke about wanted me to throw up.
Mate, Paul Sebastiani was very good last week. He gave us some gems, mate.
He rode the pies off, which was good. That was a really good professional opinion. That was good. And he tipped Melbourne to win. So, no, he was good. You two were really good last week. It's a good watch. Both of you was really good. So,
Good to have
be
you
back.
back.
It's good to be back.
Likewise, mate. Another weekend set of results that occurred and consequential week again. Big results. We're going to go through them. We're also going to go through our September run. So it's, we started this segment when there was about 7 games to go. There's now 2 games to go. It's getting hot.
Have we tipped anything right in that September run?
I just don't think we've tipped anything wrong. No, I'm not sure. I don't think any of us can get it right.
Like this. Who's tipping right at the moment?
We're all just guessing.
I'm shocking at the moment. So.
Who's cooking comes back now that your boyfriend Nick Dacos hasn't been playing. We're interested to see who makes your cut.
Just slop his brother straight in.
Of course you will. Now, a new one that we're going to bring in, the Griil All Australian. So you and I are going to throw up a couple of names and just to brainstorm a few names that we believe should be in the side. Now, this is all obviously subject to opinions. And next week we'll come up with a full squad of 22 and we'll have three emergencies. Actually, we'll decide on that. We're not sure about that. But we will have an Weekend Grill All-Australian team, a combined team. So it's probably going to be, for the viewers at home, it's probably going to have about 13 Collingwood players in there and, I don't know, maybe half the Carlton Rezzies or something. No, look, we'll work it out.
Copy and paste the Collingwood team in.
But today, Paul, we will throw out a couple of names just to brainstorm.
I've got them ready.
Yeah,
and we're good to go.
And we'll also do our round 23 preview, which there are a lot of elimination or mini elimination final games in there. So I want to hear your thoughts and I want to get your info and your tips on the weekend. And yeah, we're going to hold you accountable, mate. So if you're getting you wrong, we're going to make sure next week.
Come for me. I'm sure I'll get plenty wrong, man.
We all get it wrong.
5 on the weekend.
We all get it wrong. All right, look, we're going to get stuck into it. So round 21 occurred. Round 22. Round 22, my apologies, I'm losing it. Friday night started off with your boys Collingwood beating Geelong 109 to 101. I'll be honest, I watched a little bit of the game. You were there. Tell us what happened.
Well, it didn't start well, did it? Didn't start well. And then Darcy Moore went down with a hamstring.
Yep.
And there was just a little eerie feeling around the ground. But credit to the boys, they got the job done. And I actually thought convincingly. I actually thought Collingwood played well in the first quarter, didn't put it on the scoreboard, generated more inside 50s, more scoring shots. And then they got their reward in the second quarter and the third. To be only 8, though, I think it was more of a 3 to 4 goal win. So the scoreboard probably doesn't show the way it went. But it was a comfortable win without Moore and Dacos too. So if you told me before the game you're going to lose Moore in the first quarter and no Dacos, you'd probably say Geelong would win. I
was pretty cold. I was tipping Geelong pretty strong.
You were confident. You told me all week. Geelong's going to win.
I was laughing. No, mate, you're rocking up to the game. You may as well do.
You text me Wednesday night, and I text you said, "What the hell are you and Paul talking about?" Right? And you said, "Don't rock up.
Yeah.
Geelong's going to win."
Oh, I was very confident in Geelong. I thought that season was on the line for them. If you want to put it in that sort of way,
it was.
Look when Darcy Moore went down, obviously very similar to you, like don't want these good players missing finals. First instinct thought 3-4 week hammy. But look,
which probably will be 3 weeks. Like, what are we?
And Collingwood have announced that they're going to put him on ice for the rest of the home and away season.
Yep.
And then yesterday, I saw some footage on their social media that he was running, which is positive signs.
Yes.
Obviously, we don't know to what intensity he was running at, but Josh Dacos, from what I saw, he turned it up. He had a day out.
39 touches, I think he had.
Yeah, 39. Jeremy Cameron's kicked 7 goals for. The Collingwood supporters will tell you that half of them shouldn't have even counted.
He kicked that from Croxton Station. That's how far he was behind the line.
Tell me,
he was at the Croxton 28s when 1 foot was on the boundary.
No, that's fair enough.
Unbelievable.
What I do want to ask you is, you're a little bit upset off air last week when you told me about how me and Paul, or somewhat perceived to have jumped off the pies. I think there's a difference between jumping off Collingwood and being concerned how they're playing. Now, can I ask you, have you been concerned
Well,
the last fortnight of how Collingwood are playing?
I was being a sookie Collingwood supporter last week.
So you're being normal? Yep.
I was being normal.
Yep.
I just think, me included,
Yep.
everyone does, we all get caught up in the short. It's almost like we react to the result. Like as soon as someone loses, that's their season over. I write them off. They're done. They're finished. They can't win. Geelong in round 6. They can't make the 8.
Well, they probably can't. Now.
Right. But we all react to a loss,
Yep.
right? And
True.
for me, I sat back and I went through each round. I went through, because I'm a nuffy. And I said, you know what? We've lost 2 games. We lost 3 games for the year, 4 games after last week, right? Let's just look at that as a whole, right? You can't, when you're in that position and you're consistently winning, and you're on top of the ladder and you get complacent and you don't bring the energy level.
Yep.
Right? It's almost like, say, when you got a missus and everything's well and you get a bit lazy, you don't want to go to the shops, you put your feet up and then the missus puts you in the doghouse and then you start getting her flowers, you take her for dinner. And that's what happens, mate. And
you're speaking on behalf of yourself,
right?
not
Yeah, that's
me.
what happens with my missus if she's listening, right? But that's what happens, and I think Fly mentioned in the week we're going to focus on bringing our energy back to the right places. And you saw that Friday night,
Yeah,
like
I
they were
did.
ferocious around the footy.
That was actually one thing I did notice was very prevalent with Collingwood is they did bring the heat. Moving forward, let's speak moving forward about Geelong first. In your eyes, are they done? Can't make the 8?
I think they can make the 8.
Okay.
I think their best can win.
Yep.
I'm concerned about them long term.
Yep.
I think when your key forward kicks 7 and you
Yep.
don't win, what's to come after that?
Okay. And the Pies, so they're going to have to deal with the next 2 weeks. They've secured top spot, which is good.
Yep.
So you're locked in on the as the minor premiers.
If they win this week,
Yep.
I can tell you what everyone's going to say.
Yeah,
no
hang on.
day cost, no more.
So what do you want to see from Collingwood in the next fortnight without arguably
this week, they just need to win. That's it. If they win, the narrative, they've got day cost, more to come back. What are they going to do? They've got the luxury. All these story headlines are going to come in. They just need to win this week. It's first v second. It doesn't matter how much you win by. You beat second, undermanned. I think it tells you more about the Lions this week.
Okay, we'll get onto that shortly.
We'll get onto that. We'll preview that
game.
But
we'll move on to the North Melbourne and Essendon game. I actually watched it.
I watched this game too.
North put up a decent fight in one of their Ben Cunnington's last game for them. Inspirational player for them after all the adversity that he's been through. Essendon hung around. I don't think Essendon ever looked like losing the game.
Essendon are playing like their season's over.
But it's
Do
not.
you agree?
Yeah, I do. I noticed that.
They've scraped over the line.
They are missing
3
some
weeks in a row.
personnel. So we talk about Collingwood missing some personnel. Essendon missing Sam Draper, Jake Stringer. Jordan,
I get that.
their defender. What's his name? Jordan.
But the
Anyway, I forgot his name.
the teams they've beaten,
Yep.
they haven't won convincingly either.
Yep.
Like they beat
Okay.
West Coast off the last
Ridley's
kick.
his name. Sorry, apologies.
Ridley.
I can't believe I forgot that. I apologise.
They've just got to keep winning.
Yeah.
Essendon.
And
we'll
North,
get to their run home.
North are doing what North do. So,
Give me promise.
Kyle Langford again had another very good game. Darcy Parish racked him up. Nick Martin's made a late rally to get his All-Australian name put back in spotlight. He's kicked 3 goals and had 30-odd. Essendon, I think Essendon have sort of found their mark. I think back to their round 14 King's Birthday Eve win against Carlton, where I think they were made to look a lot better than what they are. I think at the moment they sort of found their mark. But yeah, look, next game after that was Sydney and Gold Coast.
Sydney.
I'm not going to lie. I had the TV on the Essendon game, and at the bottom you could see the scores, obviously, for the other game, which was this game here, and it just seemed like it was neck and neck. And I did watch some of the highlights, and I suppose one of the biggest talking points to come from the weekend was why they stopped with the tag on Errol Goulden. So Errol Goulden's had something like 3 touches to half time. They put Took Miller with him. They ended up taking that away in the second half. Don't know. Was that strange to you?
Yeah, it was. Just like a team. I don't know. It was.
You were saying Essendon going through the motions like their season's done. To me, the highlights that I saw, and it's probably a bit more than highlights. Probably watched about an hour and a half worth of game, and from what I saw, I know they hung around, but the Gold Coast looked like a team that
they hung around,
waiting for the holidays.
Yeah, well, they are. Look, their season's done now.
Yeah.
They hung. I suppose it's a respectable result, but they hung into half time. I think were they leading at half time by a point?
Something like
it was dead even, something like that.
Close.
And it's Sydney.
They were leading by 2 points at half time. Sydney poured it on, kicked 6 goals in the third. Basically, gave them that gap.
Yeah, and everything was evened out in the last.
Yep. I think Sydney are low humming. You'll see there. It's reflected in my in the Who's Cooking segment.
I'm happy Sydney's doing well because in the last round, we'll talk about it later. They play Melbourne.
Yep.
And that's going to play a lot of different factors in the top 8.
We'll wait until we get to the round, the preview, or the Who's Cooking in the preview. Sydney's got Adelaide this week, who we move on to Adelaide, and they came up against Brisbane, went down by a goal at the Gabba, 99-93. Again, a spirited performance from Adelaide. I tell you what,
should have won.
If Adelaide missed the 8, this is going to go down as probably one of the best seasons of a team to not make the 8.
Yep.
I've been so
Carlton's team last year, maybe.
Who?
Carlton's team last year. Didn't they miss the 8 by 0.1%?
Oh, my memory isn't that good, mate. I'm not sure.
You know.
No, in all seriousness, Adelaide played very well.
If they kick straight, they win. They kicked 13-15.
Yep.
They peppered the goals. Brisbane, they don't know how to win a game. Did you watch the game?
Hang on a sec. They've won the last couple of games. They've won have been by less than a goal.
They were up by 24.
So they do know how to get there eventually.
They were trying. If you watch this game, Brisbane just froze in the last 6 minutes, 7 minutes. They were trying to chip the ball around. They just could not control the game. And if it wasn't for Adelaide executing, Adelaide win the ball game for me. And that tells you by the scoreline.
I'm going to say Charlie Cameron's the difference. I mean, I look at their big fours, just looking at the stats of this game, like Lincoln McCarthy and Charlie Cameron and Zach Bailey have kicked 7 goals between them. Their midfielders chipped in, so Hugh McCluggage just had 2. Cam Rayner, he could be anything. He could do anything.
When you have 6 more scoring shots, come to the end of the game, you'd expect to win.
Yeah. So what was it? 28 to
15-9. 13-15. So 28 scoring shots to 24.
That's been the theme. I've noticed it's common occurrence with Adelaide season thus far. I remember the game.
Sorry, they had 4
Melbourne.
more scoring shots. My
Correct.
mistake.
Against Collingwood up at Adelaide Oval, where they just couldn't kick
They
straight.
couldn't kick straight. Yeah.
So it could be a missed opportunity for. I don't think Adelaide are completely out of it. We'll look We'll look at their run a bit later in the show.
Who does that game say more about?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you. That's a very good question.
I don't know.
I reckon it says more about Adelaide. I agree. I thought it doesn't tell me much about Brisbane. If anything, it's...
I feel like Brisbane are
and Jack Gunston's got an MCL, which they're suggesting is going to be a 2-weeker. I mean,
and Rich did his hammy in the VFL.
Yeah, I mean, Rich has been irrelevant for the majority of the year since him and Gunston went to the coach and said we're out of form.
Which
never happened in a million years.
Yeah, that's right.
Never happened.
I don't think Rich was coming back anyway. But that's interesting.
Gunston's a big loss for him. I know he had that patch, obviously, first third of the year where it's been documented that him and Daniel Rich went up to the coach and said this, and that. Since he has come back, he's been very important to their structure. I think Joe Danaher and Charlie Cameron are going to play a massive part as to how far Brisbane go. I mean, Eric Hipwood's going to do what Eric Hipwood does.
Vroom, motorbike.
You reckon he
kicked 6? Did he kick 6?
Mate, he's going to be taking his Harley to the MCG this week.
He's going to roll it in, mate.
Do you reckon it fits in?
Oh, I think Quainall might pop his tyres.
That's a good one. That one, I like that one. Oh, next game. Best game of the round.
Don't bother showing up. That's
Carlton v Melbourne. Carlton triumph.
Can we tell the viewers your extraordinary video after the game?
I'm not going to say enough.
Everyone
if you want to talk about it, whatever. I don't see what's so incredulous
about it. This man here told everyone, don't bother rocking up for the rest of the year and who's going to beat the Blues. This is why. Santa Maria. This is why Carlton supporters...
Mate, don't bother praying to him. Your God can't help you.
This is why Carlton supporters cop it when they lose. When we hear these comments, don't bother rocking up to the G. You guys are out of control.
For what it's worth.
It was a good win, though. And I said to you the other night, I said, you feel on top. You're bulletproof when you get a win like
Mate,
that.
I'm telling you now, I felt bulletproof on Saturday night, and I don't choose to redact anything of what I said.
It was a good win.
I'll say what I said. Don't bother rocking up because Carlton's going to win the flag. No, I'm joking. No, look. It was a very good win. In all seriousness, Carlton probably, I thought, played one of their better games of the year. I know they've
You should have been 30 points up a quarter time.
Agreed. I think the weather sort of kept Melbourne in it, and Melbourne's defence is solid. So at the moment, how I saw it on Saturday night was Melbourne's defence is what's going to win them the flag. I mean, if they're going to win it, if they're going to go the whole way, it's Melbourne's defence that's going to hold them in very good stead.
When I came on,
they're so rock solid.
To show you, I told you Melbourne can't score. They don't score. In this game, at one stage, there was more goals in the penalty shootout in the Matildas than this game. There was one goal with 2 minutes left in the first quarter.
That was actually pretty special being there, half the crowd.
I'm sure I was.
Quarter time, like, what are they yelling at?
There's probably more people in the pubs watching it than were outside.
Good point.
They don't kick a winning score. You're right. So you can get them. You can get them.
So let's speak about Melbourne. Obviously, a flag contender, sitting fourth on the ladder, which is a tight race for that top four. Aside from Collingwood locking down top spot, second, third, and fourth is all up for grabs. I mean, Brisbane and Port are on 60 and Melbourne's on 56. So my question to you is, Brodie Grundy came back into the side. Now, I don't think if they chose to play Brodie Grundy as a forward, you couldn't have picked the worst game for a forward to perform. It was not a forward's game, right?
And he competed too.
He did. He wasn't relevant in the forward line. Like, I think you saw two of the better defences coming up on Saturday night. Melbourne's is elite. Carlton's is in their winning streak has been very elite.
Yep.
I don't think we can judge Brodie Grundy as a forward based on that point. It was not a forward's game.
I think
it genuinely was not. Do you think they're going to play him again?
Well, you're not giving him a much of... Look,
I know.
In the first quarter, the ball barely... I don't know how many... They didn't have many inside 50s.
Mate, at one stage, it was 20-9 inside 50s.
Yeah,
it was embarrassing.
That's what I mean.
Actually, and I think at another stage, it may have been like 36-12.
Well, this is what I say.
Yeah.
You're going to give someone a shot. I almost feel like you put too much pressure on someone saying, well, it's this game or bust.
Well, he's not 20.
Oh, but give him a couple weeks.
He's been in the system for a while.
But you can't throw him into a rainy day at the G against one of the best defences in the team.
Do you want my honest opinion? I think Melbourne, and this is going to sound cynical, but I think Melbourne have set Brodie Grundy up to fail. I think the performance in the game on the weekend is a more than plausible enough excuse to drop him this week when Bailey Fritsch and Tom McDonald could potentially both come back.
Is Fritsch back this week, is he?
Yeah, he's going to put his hand up.
Really? Okay.
Clayton Oliver came back. I don't think he had much of an influence.
Big second half. He had a decent second half.
I tell you what, I want to give this guy a mention. Jack Viney's huge. I love Viney, I can't work this guy. Like this guy's unbelievable. Like watching him live, he's tough and hard.
He's a tough nut,
We said a couple of weeks ago, even potentially last week when Paul Seb was on. These players, Melbourne players play hard. Like, you know, your Alex Neil-Bullens, your Stephen Mays, your Jack Vineys, your Petrarcas. They're just
ferocious
tough.
Around the footy.
They're just tough, hard nuts. And watching Jack Viney live, he was absolutely super. I thought Carlton deserved to win the game, irrespective of the theatre of the last 30 or 40 seconds, whatever you want to call it.
Was it good, wasn't it?
No, whatever. Look, you can judge it however you want to judge it.
You can't pick it. I agree.
Paul, the facts of the matter are, Carlton at the moment have answered every question that has been asked of them. Now, another question is are they flag contenders? Not just as a Carlton supporter saying, I genuinely believe that they are. There are a few things that are probably obviously going to play against them, obviously like a top four, etc. Injuries at the moment as well. And, you know, it's hard to be up for that long. Like Geelong did it last year, which was a phenomenal effort. Geelong won 15 or 16 in a row after round 9 to go the whole way.
Yeah, that's right.
I just think with Carlton, there is a whole lot of upside with their players to actually come back, which I'm gonna throw to you, because since Saturday night, you and I have conversed regarding what's Carlton's best mix, and in terms of are these ins that could potentially be coming in, is it going to change the dynamic of the team? So I'm going to throw it to you. I want to hear what you have to say.
Sometimes injuries are a blessing in disguise. You work players out. You see things from players that look. I love Paddy Dow. I reckon he gives you something.
Yep.
He's tough. He's quick. I know he's got question marks over his kicking.
Yep.
But all of a sudden, I probably say, well, I'm playing Dow before Kennedy now.
Yeah, look.
Do you agree with that?
No, to be fair, Kennedy was not one of the ones I was.
Yeah, but
I
he
think
was playing before Dow at the start of the
He
year.
was, but Kennedy was Matt Kennedy was taking George Hewitt's spot, which I believe now that spot up for grabs is now George.
It's reversed.
It's definitely
Hewitt
George.
wasn't getting the game.
No, it's his now. It's for now.
Yeah, it's almost forced players into form. Like Martin's stepped up. He's always had talent. It's just more about his body and stepping, holding up. Cripps is in form again. Wiedering's hit form. Kerno's kicking goals.
It's all the leaders.
The tricky, and we spoke about this, is you bring players in. How does that affect your mix? And Collingwood struggled with this 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Fully fit, McStay comes in and other players, and you tend to say, we'll bring him in, but you don't realise, well, we're going to lose something here. And I spoke about before that you're going to bring Mackay in. Are you going to lose?
He's been announced fit. He's been deemed fit to play. He has to get through training, obviously.
Because TDK's playing ruck and then he's playing forward. When Mackay doesn't do that.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you as a non-Carlton supporter, as a neutral, if you want to put it, or as a pundit. Does Harry Mackay come into that team? One, is he a walk-up starter? Secondly, who does he replace?
Well, he's got to be a walk-up. As a coach, how are you leaving him in the VFL?
No, okay. So you're a believer that he walks
comes
straight in.
Anyone says he's not going to come in. Well, seriously, you got nuts. You got
that's cool. Yep.
Peanuts for a brain.
Who does he replace?
He's going to come in. I think if he plays, you say, Harry, you're going to have to chip out in the ruck. I reckon he plays the ruck minutes that TDK plays, and Pitney comes out.
So TDK stays in. TDK you'd have at Carlton as your number one, and Pitney is your sacrificial lamb. Okay, for Harry.
Yep.
Right. I tell you what,
but I'm not I don't know. I'm not in a Carlton team like you do.
No. Look, without trying to act like we're team selectors and we're on the match committee, Voss and the match committee there at Carlton have got. Some would say it's a luxury. It's a good problem to have. I think they've got. It is. I agree. I think they've got 2 games to actually figure it out.
Correct.
So the position that Carlton's put themselves in the last 4 or 5 weeks is. Any of those players that are 50-50, your Mitch McGoverns, your Sam Walshes, your Adam Cherries that we're probably going to come in this week, probably can afford
Does
to
Marchbank go out for McGovern?
I think if McGovern's fit, he plays ahead of Caleb. Yeah,
I like Caleb.
It's fair enough. I mean, it's not about liking him. I understand that. I think he's got talent. I just think.
Do you agree with me with Mackay?
About what? That he has to play right. Pitternet would be the first one. Mark Pitternet would be the first name that would have to come out. Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's not Tom DeConning.
Yeah. I don't think you can play all 4 of those: Curnow, Mackay, DeConning, and Pitternet.
Well, imagine if they throw up Jack Silvani's name for selection too.
Well, you know my thoughts on that.
Yeah. Okay.
He won't be.
Fair call.
He'll be at Thankyou next.
Good win by the Blues. I will say just before we move off this game, I reckon that game at the MCG on Saturday night is moving forward. It's a good form game. I think there's a lot of upside for both. I believe. I reckon Melbourne, both those teams moving forward, I reckon they both have a lot more to give.
I expected Carlton. I thought it was going to be a close game.
Yep.
And I don't think I've always said weather doesn't suit Melbourne.
No, it doesn't suit Carlton.
Yeah.
Believe me, it doesn't suit Carlton.
Yeah, and probably doesn't.
No,
I just think with Melbourne, they rely a lot on Gawn and May and Lever, and when it's wet, the aerial presence is it's not up there in terms of a dry day. So
fair call.
But both upside for both teams. So it's going to be cracking.
I do agree. The Western Australian Derby was on at the same time. Obviously, as you can understand, barely watched much of this game as I was at the MCG. Fremantle got the job done, 101 points. West Coast kicked the first 2 goals. Much to say here. Oh, actually, sorry.
I thought, here we go. West Coast can continue their form after the first 2, and then Freo polled on like 10 in a row after that.
So
possibly even more.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think they only kick
17 it was. It was 17.
West Coast.
It was 17 goals.
They kicked 1 goal 17 after quarter time.
So if we were mentioning earlier that Adelaide's not playing, or if they're gonna be a team that's gonna miss out, it's gonna be like one of the better seasons for a team to not make the finals. If we're using that sort of concept, I'm gonna say now, like Fremantle are not a 14th place team.
No,
Like, they're currently sitting 14th.
They've actually hit some form,
but
the last 3 weeks.
they're not playing like a team that's 14th place.
No, I agree, and I think there's one club plays them in the last round that are going to be concerned. And we'll touch on that.
On that shortly. Good win by Freo. Sunday, Bulldogs. My God, the Hawks took down another scalp. I've been on. Very well. I've been onto this Hawthorn operation. I've been onto their operation for the whole year. They've now beaten Brisbane. They've beaten Collingwood. They've beaten Western Bulldogs. All 3 of those teams are inside the 8. The Bulldogs, to me, I sent you an image after the game. Mate, they are a Rubik's Cube. I can't work them out. And to be truthful, they actually make me sick. Seriously.
They only play at Marvel. That's where they play. I think they're like a 5-goal better team at Marvel. But they
Hawthorn
lost
just bullied them.
They lost Libar.
But irrespective of that, Hawthorn bullied them. Hawthorn took it to them. After quarter time, Hawthorn absolutely bullied them. You know the moment Libba went down, you sort of expected maybe a Jack McRae, a Treloar, a Bontempelli to step up. Bontempelli was shut out of the game. He probably didn't get warm till the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game, which is, conveniently or coincidentally when they started to get a run on. John Newcombe, a 50 gamer, it was 50th gamer, you're letting him have 40 touches and 10 tackles and 12 tackles, 4 tackles and 12 marks, making it, you know what I mean? Like
the Dogs had some chances to put this game away, and geez, they can't kick for goal either. Like Norton's horrible. I don't think he's gonna kick the goal.
I'm gonna be honest. He to me is now actually becoming a liability. We talk about risks and assets. He's a risk.
He had a kick to put him 30 points up.
He's becoming a liability.
Don't get me started on Lob. He is a tall timber piece of shit, right? He is woeful. Oh, seriously, drop him. He's got to be the worst recruit of the year. Can we do a segment next week? The worst recruits. Right?
We can't fit 10 segments in,
right? Dead set. What? He's so bad. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what money he's on. He's playing on the wing, then he's forward. He's got the word. When you watch him line up for goal, right? I am not confident in him having a shot for goal.
Okay.
And he has a shot in the last quarter to get him within.
It was very windy there, Paul.
I don't give a shit. Listen, when you're getting 700K a year, you kick the ball with fucking windy, raining. Hey,
that's why none of them can do it.
Right? I get that. But listen, I don't care. You're accustomed to the wind. Kick the goal. You're 30 metres out. We're paying you $700,000. Right? Anyway, let's move on because that.
Well, Bulldogs season now is in. I wouldn't say jeopardy, but we'll speak about them. But look, good win by the Hawks. Again, moving forward, Hawthorn, I'd be very wary. I'm very concerned as to what this team can do. St Kilda come up against Richmond. I was pretty confident St Kilda win this game. They did. Six goals.
Richmond just.
What do you think? Oh, by the way, congratulations to Trent Cotchin and Jack Riewoldt, who have both announced their retirement. Like they're literally Richmond Hall of Fame type stuff. Yeah. Like good on them. Trent Cotchin, triple premiership captain. Jack Riewoldt's, he's Richmond through and through.
Good.
I think it was about time. It seemed like it was only a matter of time.
Riewoldt will go for another year, I thought, but anyway.
Nah, I disagree. But look, good on them. Richmond are checked out. I'll tell you what, and St Kilda bounced back from their loss last week to Carlton. I'm just going to say, I reckon this game might give St Kilda a false sense of security here. Richmond are nothing. They are not crash hard.
The thing is, it's false current. Like Saints are playing to keep their season alive. The other team's gone through the motions. They're probably on the beers. Yeah, and at Marvel, we know they hate Marvel.
So let's just quickly touch on the Richmond coaching job. So obviously Andrew McWalter's put his hand up, and it's been reported on a lot of these mainstream media outlets that Richmond's process has started. The interviews have begun. I'm just going to say, I don't think Andrew McWalter, I reckon he's been set up to fail as well. Like, have a look at what he's actually taken over. He doesn't have Tom Lynch in the team. Prestia, Cochin, Martin are in and out of the team. his captain, when they were going on a run, gets suspended for a lack of discipline, which is not uncommon to Richmond's standard against Sydney for knocking out Jake Lloyd. They end up losing a ruckman. They've had a lot of him. I just reckon it's been a season to actually forget. And if he's going to be judged on his small period of time that he's been interim coach, I'm gonna lean it towards the angle and say that I don't think Andrew McWalter is going to get the job. I reckon they're going to look for someone different. And if he does get the job, it's going to be like, you're our last choice. But I don't think he's been given the opportunity, given the circumstances of how he inherited the actual team. I don't reckon he's been given the actual chance to show what he's worth. Because as far as I'm concerned, the harsh reality is Richmond are going to be in a build.
You reckon? A lot of people think they've got at least.
I disagree. I disagree.
You don't reckon?
No, I mean Loston's going to have another 2 years. Aside from Taranto, I mean Jaden Short's 29. You know, like that's another 2 years max of decent form. We're not talking playing to your 34, 35 where you're playing 3 or 4 games a year.
Yeah, no,
right?
I get that.
The shining lights and the positive for Richmond are Taranto, Hopper, Liam Baker. God, Liam Baker should be their next cat. I think they'll give it to Vlosten. Yep. But Liam Baker's a shining light. They do have a lot of young kids, but they're not high-end talent. Kane Corns touched on it the other night, or someone touched on it recently. A lot of their kids are not high-end talent because they've sold a lot of it to get the middle-aged.
Yeah, they've sold it for Taranto and
I don't know.
I think Tom Lynch is a big difference. He's a big difference.
I agree, but he again, Tom Lynch is not 24 or 25.
No, I think they've got a core there they can build around.
Okay, but build around is in.
Do they have a draft pick this year? No.
I think
the Giants.
I think Richmond need it. I think Richmond need to hit the draft hard. I don't think Richmond is a 1 or 2 year job.
So the Giants will get pick 6 this year.
Interesting.
Yeah, they'll get pick 6.
I do feel for Minnie. I do.
Yeah,
I don't think he's been given an opportunity. He has, but the
he's
team
been competitive.
The team that he has, the cards that he has in his hands, they're not good enough to be a winning hand.
He gets a job. He gets a job.
I disagree. We'll see.
We'll find
anyway,
out.
St Kilda wins. St Kilda somehow stays in the 8. It's just absolutely.
I'm going to give him credit.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying they don't deserve it. Anyway.
I reckon even against Carlton, they were They were really good against you guys.
Yeah, but they were more focused. Yeah, but against Richmond on Sunday, they were focused on winning the game. Against Carlton, they knew they'd come up against a team that was far more superior, and they just played this defensive shit.
No, I don't think so. I think looking at that, yeah, we're going to agree to disagree.
Sure.
But I think they've got Membry back.
Yep.
Did he come back?
Max King, 6 goals.
Yeah, Membry help. He gives him another look up forward. Jeez, I really hope you guys play each other in the first final.
Possibly.
There'll be a cracker game at the G.
Yeah, I disagree.
80,000. I don't think it's going to happen, though.
Nah, we'll see. Port Adelaide, last game of the round, Port Adelaide versus GWS. Port Adelaide actually found some form again.
Yeah.
GWS probably due for that sort of loss. Like, I mean, I know we don't like to say it, and obviously, you know, Sydney beat them recently as well. But now it's all on the line for the Giants, and Port Adelaide secure a top 4 spot. So, don't know. What did you get to watch the game a lot?
I watched a little bit.
Did.
I thought the Power were good.
I thought they were brilliant.
Yep, I think,
they found that spark again.
But they had plays out. I actually thought they were good last week against Geelong.
You did say that, yep.
Yeah, I thought they were really good. They just, look, sometimes you don't have the personnel. But they put up a fight. They bounced back at home. They needed a good, strong performance, and they'll be thereabouts. It's going to be the top 4.
Well, we're going to mention the ladder soon.
Jeez. Geez, a lot of little people talking about who's going to make the 8. I think we need to start talking about who finishes where in the top 4 terms of where things go. That's just really intriguing.
I think the picture's going to get a lot clearer. So moving on.
Week we will.
We'll move on to September run. So you mentioned the ladder. We'll put the ladder up for the viewers at home. You can see it there. Collingwood's locked in top spot, 68 points. Brisbane, Port Adelaide both on 60. Only percentage separating, and Brisbane second. Melbourne 4th, Carlton 5th, St Kilda 6th. St Kilda, Carlton outright 5th, St Kilda outright 6th. And then we've got a bit of a jam here. So you got Sydney on 46 points with that half game, and then 8th, 9th, and 10th are all on 44 points. And Geelong and Adelaide are mathematically are still a chance.
Well, Adelaide plays Sydney this week in Adelaide. That's a huge game.
I know. So you want to just quickly before we put up the Excel sheet, the top 4. How do you see it going?
Well,
aside from Collingwood being top, because that's guaranteed.
I think it plays a part in a couple of ways.
Yep.
It plays a part in Carlton. Well, Carlton's probably the only, and St Kilda you'd think are both going to make it. It almost plays a part in terms of.
Well, St Kilda. Hang on a sec. St Kilda is not. Well, look at their run. St Kilda's got 2 hard games.
St Kilda's got to win one game. You think they win one, but let's not even worry about that. It almost you want to know if who's going to have to go interstate, or if
you're talking about the second week. Maybe
Correct.
we don't just look too far
Let's
ahead.
not look too far. All right, let's bring it back. Right,
we're gonna bring up the Excel sheet.
Melbourne's loss on the weekend was a really bad one.
Yeah, because
they have to stay. They're going to have to finish 4th to stay in Melbourne now. You'd think, unless Brisbane, they're going to have results go their way.
Why don't we have a look at the run? Right, we look at round 23 and 24. I do agree with you there. So you can see there. Teams 5th to 12th, and you can see that St Kilda, who you mentioned, has to win one game. They've got Geelong this week, and they've got the Lions away. I find 6th and 7th position as the most important and intriguing view. What do you reckon? Have a look. Have a look at St Kilda and Sydney's run.
Realise Kilda had Brisbane away.
Have a look at Sydney and
well,
St
in
Kilda.
other words, St Kilda need to win this week or else.
Well, they're not beating Brisbane.
Yeah.
Because you'd say that Brisbane's going to be fighting to finish 2nd or 3rd.
Correct. So, St Kilda, geez, wouldn't that be...
Be a coma if they lose both. If they lose... Okay, so I'm going to ask you this.
Oh, my God.
I reckon...
That's worse than Carlton last year. They've been in the 8 all year, rounds 1 all the way to 23.
Yeah, Ross Lyon even said it. He goes, we haven't been out of the 8 the whole year, which is very, very true.
Jesus.
So we look at Adelaide as well. So
that
Adelaide...
lady that sings outside Docklands?
Knock, knock.
Knock, knock.
Shut up, bitch. You seen those edits?
Maloney did it. Maloney's a dickhead, but that was the funniest thing he's ever done, that bloke. That's coming soon, man.
All right, so Adelaide in 12. A bit of elimination final this week, which we'll preview. But interesting run here for a couple of teams. So first and foremost, we mentioned St Kilda and Sydney. I reckon the next most important one's probably... I mean, you know what? Why don't we just scrap that? They're all important.
They are.
Go have a look, right? Essendon is still in contention.
Somehow.
Essendon is still in contention, right? Go look at the Giants. And you move on, but Essendon's got the Giants. All right, so, okay.
Well, that's an elimination final this week. Whoever loses that is out.
So, okay, what about the Sydney and Adelaide game? That's an elimination final too.
Well, no, it's not. Because if Sydney lose, they can still make the 8. Because they're 6 points ahead of Adelaide.
And they're requiring Melbourne to just drop a game so they can play interstate in the last round. See?
Yeah, but Sydney can drop one. They can drop one.
I disagree.
Because 50 points gets you there.
I completely disagree because if the Giants win both of them and the Bulldogs win both of them too.
Yeah, but I don't, yeah. Well, correct. If Sydney lose, well, you're going to have results go their way, but they're favourable results, you'd think.
I can tell you now, I think they need to win every every team needs to win every game for the rest of the year because in my opinion, I still count Geelong as the team to finish 8th and probably no one really wants to verse Geelong in the finals if they're fully fit.
I think Adelaide's got the easiest out of all of them.
Yeah, but Geelong are 2 points ahead.
Yeah.
It's only a half game, so percentage is not going to matter.
Geelong have to win both to make it.
Isn't it going to be funny where people say percentage won't matter for these half games?
Year will.
It will. So have a look at Sydney and Geelong. Both have that half game.
Yeah.
Right. The 8th spot might come down to, I don't know. We've mentioned this segment for the last 6 weeks, and I don't think any of us are any wiser. Every single week we come here.
Well, I'll put it this way.
I don't reckon any of us have got much of an idea.
I can tell you, Essendon won't make it. I can't see them beating the Giants up there. Giants will be short favourites to win.
They're not short, but they are.
And then they've got to play Collingwood. which you don't know with the last round. Who knows? Players get rested.
No, but
and
this
things
is the
like
thing.
that.
So if Essendon do roll the Giants this week, then all of a sudden that round 24 game on Friday night, if Essendon beat Collingwood on that Friday night, they're in the 8. That's providing they win against the Giants.
I don't think they will, though. I don't think they beat the Giants.
I just reckon the way the season's gone, I'm going to say that last game in round 24 between Carlton and GWS, that's going to be Giants playing to make the 8. They win that
Correct.
game. If they win that game, they make the 8.
And it could be the difference of you playing a home final or away.
Very true.
You can't pick
You can't. I know. It's
do
too
you know
hard.
what?
It's too
After
hard.
this round,
It's still not going to be clearer.
Yeah, it will be clearer.
Nah,
I'll tell you why it'll be clearer.
Marginally clearer, though.
Because if Geelong lose, well, then we know they're not playing in the 8. If Geelong lose.
If Adelaide lose, we know. If Sydney can do over Adelaide, Adelaide's not making
But
final.
let's look at if Geelong lose, they're done.
Which means St Kilda wins.
And that means they're locked in.
Yes.
So you're going to start getting a couple. We might get 1 or 2 lock, And if Carlton win, that locks in your top 8.
We're ready. Yeah, I know. I agree.
I think you're not going to drop out anyway.
No, I agree. Mathematically, there'd have to be a lot to go wrong
That's
for
right.
Carlton,
Jesus
and
would
have to be
fucking turn, my nulnor's fucking
also
water
Judd,
into wine.
Chris Judd.
Oh, Chris Judd, yeah. Or Nick
Anyway,
Dacos.
we'll move on. Who's cooking? Paul Italiano. Now, let's see who your 5 teams are. So you weren't here last week. So
Did anyone take Collingwood out of the top 1?
Yeah, I think I put Melbourne at number 1.
Ooh. There's no way they're still there. Anyway,
I'm
we'll go to
asking.
mine.
Yeah, give us a
I got Collingwood at 1.
Yep.
I've still got Melbourne at 2nd.
Yep.
I think they got a bit of upside still.
I agree.
Bag is at 3. How can you not?
Did you look at mine?
No.
Okay. Go
No, I
on.
haven't. I only send them to you, mate.
Yeah, true.
Lions at 4.
Sure you didn't look at mine?
Positive. And Port at 5.
Okay.
Oh, we got
I
the
like it.
same.
Very close. I agree with a lot of it.
Yep.
So very similar
And
to
there's not much, really. You can,
very similar to yours. So Collingwood number 1, Melbourne number 2, Carlton 3rd best team in the comp, Brisbane 4th best team. Margin this is
Yeah.
zero
Yeah,
confidence. I'm going to put Sydney in there for 5th, and I'll be interested to see Sydney might frank that this weekend against Adelaide. They're my little roughie.
Jeez, that's a big game this
I know.
week.
Now, Paul, now that
So Port's not in your top 5.
no, so it was a flip of a coin between Port and Sydney.
Jumped on the Sydney train.
on the way here, I was thinking, should I change it to Port? I'm going to leave Sydney there. Sydney, we're talking about who's cooking. The reality is Sydney's won their last X amount of games and Port's won 1 in their last 5.
I want to pose a question to you.
Go on.
Out of the top 4,
Mm-hmm.
Collingwood, Melbourne, Port, Brisbane,
Yep.
is it a coincidence that all 4 teams have dropped off form?
I don't believe in coincidences.
Okay. I just feel like all 4 of those teams have really not dipped in form, but
Not
they're not.
Melbourne.
Okay.
Melbourne come up a strong unit who won 7 in a row on Saturday night.
Yeah, okay. Part of Melbourne.
A team
I
that was
suppose.
like Carlton.
Everyone was
absolutely-
coming from Melbourne last week is premiership favourites again.
So
And now they've dropped.
So now when I tell you that Carlton can win the flag, why do you laugh when they've beaten Collingwood, Port Adelaide, and Melbourne? Why do you laugh?
I know, I just don't think
You
they win
just
the
said
flag.
it.
What?
Well, everyone's coming from Melbourne as premiership favourites. Well, Carlton's knocked off the last 3 premiership favourites.
Yeah, but
No?
I'm saying, but you're outside the 4. Melbourne's in the 4. That's
I agree.
the difference.
I'm just taking the piss.
I'm
stirring you up
No,
'cause
no,
you-
I'm not
'cause you're a
saying.
shit
Carlton
Collingwood
have to
supporter.
define history to win the flag this year.
This
Finish
is
outside,
okay. I understand. I hear where you're coming
it's the first
from.
time for everything. Well, it's been done before.
But the way I put it is just because something doesn't work for someone else doesn't mean it can't work for you.
No, you can win.
You're saying is right, though. So I apologise for keep interrupting
No.
you, but you are
You can
right.
win
They're going
the
to have to defy history.
Yeah, you can win the flag though. I think, geez, it's going to be tough to go interstate this year.
I agree, but at the same time as well, I don't. I think history is there to be written. It's not about you can't do it because someone else can't do it. That's bullshit. You can't you can't wipe your ass with your left hand because I don't do it with my left hand.
Yeah, no.
Fuck's the difference.
Oh, I agree. You can win the flag.
Who's your top
saying
5
history.
players?
I gone Butters back to my 1.
Oh,
Zachy boy. I think he's been on fire the last 3-4 weeks.
Nick Dacos.
He's a sneak. Butters was up there. Was he Brownlow favourite at one point with Dacos?
No, never favourite. Nick Dacos has been favourite the whole week. The whole year.
Whole year.
Which
Has
is funny.
Butters been far behind him though?
No, he got. I think he got as short as about $7.
Okay.
He come into equal second
He's
favourite.
had the last 3, correct me if I'm wrong, possibly 4.
Mm.
He would have polled some votes.
Even in their losses where they got pounced.
Yes, he's going to poll votes.
So the Collingwood game where they lost by two points.
No, not that game.
He doesn't poll that game.
But
He
I
definitely
reckon-
doesn't poll against Carlton. So that's 2 weeks in a row,
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
after that,
Yeah.
I think he polls in all.
which would mean his last 3 games. So they're 2 losses
Yeah.
after Collingwood and the win against the Giants. Okay.
Yep. He,
Can I have the rest of your top 5?
yeah, we can. Sorry, mate.
That's all right.
I got on the Bond
We're
2, which arguably could be
I'm
1,
so sorry.
only because he had a really bad one on the weekend.
Yeah.
Petrarca 3, Jordan Dawson 4, and my boy Timmy English 5.
Nice.
'Cause
That
he-
is a
'cause-
spanner. Very, very nice.
Only
Very
because he
good.
took the kick out on the weekend. I put him at 5.
What, because he had the balls to do it, or because he couldn't execute it? Or he didn't have the
It
brains?
nearly
to-
worked out. Bailey
Yeah,
Dale did a U-turn.
Oh, mate, we honestly, I don't want to
jeez.
sit here for another hour and a half. We can talk about that last
Right.
play.
Anyway,
Anyway.
Timmy English, he's the number 1 ruck in the comp, and geez, he's good. He's good. Everything
agree.
about him. He's got clean hands. He's a good user. Oh, he's
You've been
he's good.
you've been
Let's
big,
mix it up a bit. We've
you've
always
been
got-
on you've been big on. I remember earlier in the year, you've been big on Tim English. You've mentioned his name a couple times.
He's the best ruck. There's no better ruckman than this.
No, I
guy.
agree. I completely agree.
you got?
My
Who-
top 5: Christian Petrarca number 1, Marcus Bontempelli number 2. It's a flip of a coin. Charlie Curnow number 3, Toby Green 4, Zach Butters 5. Nick Dacos goes out of there by default. Oh my god! Just quick, I tell you what was funny.
Don't.
So Nick Dacos didn't play a game on the weekend
Oh,
and went from $7 to $4 to win the Brownlow. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
and it's going to keep happening if Bond and Petrarca don't poll.
Well, it's funny because Hawthorn have had the favourite, and now they've got the second favourite in Petrarca. And, mate, Finn McInnes is on a streak here. Like, I don't know.
That's the least Hawthorn can do after shattering the kid's knee.
You know, and what? We'll go through the Bulldogs run. They've got, what have they got? They got the Eagles this week, yeah?
Doggies
Have the Eagles.
Ooh, yes, they do.
Yeah,
At
okay.
home.
So Bond's no guarantee to have, he's 40 and he's fucking and run a mark.
Well, the thing
Anyway,
is,
the thing is that they're going to miss Libba, which probably means that Bond's going to get a lot more of the ball, a lot more responsibility.
Yep.
And as I said, I'm going to reiterate after the video I did with Paul Sebastiani last week that everyone started to fucking be in tears when I said it would be a tragedy and atrocity if Nick Dacos doesn't win the Brownlow due to injury. Let's just make it clear again, if they didn't hear it the first time, no disrespect to anyone who does win it. Anyone who does win the Brownlow deserves it. And it's going to be interesting to see the last 2 rounds. I'll tell you what, maybe we might have to watch Brownlow together. It's going to be tense. Have you got a bet on?
no,
I don't either.
no, not for the Brownlow.
Nah.
It's too hard to pick.
Agree.
You'd be stupid to go now, but
It's a three-way go. Like, it's
it could be a tie.
possibly. I just reckon the market's. I just reckon at the moment, just quickly on it, I think the market has priced it as prior to the Hawthorn game, at the Hawthorn game, I'm going to say Nick Dacos was 5 ahead.
Yep.
So that leaves 3 rounds for him to not get caught. And I'll tell you what, I reckon after round 22, the round that just went, I reckon he's probably 4 ahead. I think Petrarca may get a vote against Carlton. He was good.
Well, you reckon he'll get one against Carlton?
Yeah, he was good. He was all right. I don't know.
I reckon the Carlton players will get all 3.
Fair
I think
enough.
Newman had. How many did Newman have? 30.
A lot.
Yeah.
He's gonna feature in our next segment. Do you want to move on to it?
Let's go.
So we're gonna move on to the Griil All-Australian team. So look, for now, we only came up with this yesterday, so it's on short sort of notice, but we're going to just brainstorm a couple of names here. And next week, not after round 24, next week, we'll come up with a team, a combined All-Australian team with Paul Italiano and myself. Have you got some names there for me? Let's just throw some names in.
All right.
What's worse going to happen?
we know the
some are going to
standards.
agree, some are going to disagree.
We know who's going to be in.
Who
Like
cares?
Dacos is going to be in there. Curnow. Jeremy Cameron
No.
doesn't get in.
No. Can I have?
He's gonna be close.
Can I have your back six? Just sorry, a question without notice. Can I have your back six?
Sicily. He's going to be an interesting one, but
I reckon the way last year ended, it's almost like not a compensation, but last year everyone was up in arms that, does Sicily play golf? No, he doesn't play golf. There were just other six defenders that were better than him.
Yeah.
Sicily's in mine.
Is he yours?
In the list that I've got. It's not finalised. I know yours isn't either.
Well, Newman's coming home hot.
Newman's in mine.
Quaynor?
In mine.
See, this is the other one who had a good start to the
Isaac
year.
Quaynor.
Yeah, Quaynor.
Yep.
See, Darcy Moore had a good start to the year, but he's slowly just drifted.
You could say the same about the other guy that's in there.
Who?
Harris Andrews.
Yep.
He's in mine.
He's been good all year.
You got any other names for me?
Have you got Wiedering in there? No.
No.
So he's coming home strong too.
I know.
This is where you weigh in. There's players that have had a good, and everyone tends to remember the players that finish well.
No, so the thing is, okay, so just because it's a half back and a half forward, like let's remind everyone, Charlie Curnow won the the Coleman last year and got named in the forward pocket.
Yeah.
There's every chance that I could have Sicily in the back pocket.
Correct. Yeah.
Or you could have a Wiedering in the back pocket. But my two bookends are Darcy Moore fullback and Harris Andrews halfback. Either.
Yep.
And in your either side of
do you have Taylor from GWS here?
No, I don't.
Ooh.
I don't. The only GWS player I've got in there is Toby Green.
Yep. Okay.
Tim English is got there in the ruck.
There's a lot of the thing is when you do this, you got to really go through every team. It's not something.
I'll tell you who
do.
the certainties are. I'm going to give you the absolute morals, whether it's my All Australian team or the official All Australian team.
Yep.
The non-negotiables are going to be Charlie Curnow, Taylor Walker, Marcus Bontempelli, Christian Petrarca, Nick Dacos, Josh Dacos, Errol Goulden.
Ooh,
They are your certainties.
Josh
Dacos is in there.
I don't think he's a certainty.
I disagree.
And I'll tell you,
Who's going to be the other
Errol
women?
Goulden.
Errol Goulden's a moral.
He's a lock-in. They're
Errol
going to have to
Goulden's a
pay
cert.
Josh and Nick Martin.
Nick Martin.
Yeah, they will. I'm sorry. I know.
no.
I know.
I believe
you know
it.
who
I'm
going
here.
with. I'm not going with Nick Martin. Fuck him.
I think Nick
I'm going
Martin
with Josh
started
Dacos.
well, and our man Daniel Hoyne would almost get his knees to give him a
Him and
blowjob.
Mitch Owens. Jeez.
Between him and Mitch Owens, he'd kidnap his own family members
Yeah,
to spend
I
an hour
agree.
with Martin and Mitch
I
Owens.
agree.
But Nick Martin did start off well. I think Josh Dacos has had a more consistent year. And if he didn't get injured, still side bottom would be there. Instead of Josh
It's
Dacos.
interesting, yeah, because Sidebottom's sort
Still
of
Sidebottom.
he's tapered off since he's come back.
Yeah. He's had a bit of a niggle.
Yep.
All right. So, look, we've found... Oh, the other one as well. Sorry. Mate, we literally have another 30 names here, but Kyle Langford from Essendon is the lock for a half-forward flank or a forward pocket.
And you know who else you can forgetting that's a lock? My boy. The
Which
ruckman.
one? Tim English, I
Oh,
said.
you said,
Yeah.
sorry.
No.
My
Tim English
apologies.
is the ruckman.
Yeah. He's-
Period.
Who's the second ruckman?
Who cares?
That's an interesting one.
Probably-
Is it Marshall?
Probably Harris Andrews or something. This is the size of a house. no?
Kieran Briggs from
GWS
might feature.
Do you reckon
I
they
think it
go
might
with?
be
Do you reckon
Marshall.
they go with the two ruckmen, like all the like it?
They tend to go with a second.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Like you got to have a second.
Well,
ruck.
it's not Gorn. I mean, even Gorn.
Or he's finished off strong. He's quite a bit more quieter on the weekend.
Anyway,
If
we've
you're going to
gotta
go
move
with the
on.
whole year,
Yep.
I'm going with Marshall.
Instead of Briggs or Gorn,
One of those three it's going to be, isn't it?
because Tim English is there.
Yeah,
Can I
it's-
ask you just quickly as well, of the players that you have brainstormed that you're going to consider in your team, who's your All-Australian captain?
Ooh, Toby Green.
Good call.
You like that one?
Yeah, I do. It's not who I was thinking, but
Who were you thinking?
Marcus Bont.
Oh, the Bont.
Bont.
Okay.
Yeah, Bont.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Green. I think Green's he's been good.
Green's an absolute, he is a certainty in there too. All right,
Yep.
we've got to move on, Paul. We're going to go to our round 23 preview. Starts on Friday night where your boys Collingwood come up against Brisbane Lion. First v second. Big challenge for Brisbane. Seriously.
It
No
is.
fucking excuses here, mate. There's no fucking excuses. No, don't give me
Brisbane-
bullshit. Brisbane can't come up with any excuses this Friday night. I'm not saying they're going to win. I'm just saying there is no bullshit excuse. Collingwood don't have their best midfielder. They don't have their best defender. What more do you want? For a team that has a forward line like Brisbane, no fucking excuses here. Who do you think's going to win?
Yeah, I think Collingwood win, but I feel sorry for the loser out of this game.
Oh, so if Collingwood lose, you feel sorry for him? Why?
What? Collingwood's
He's
going to
still on
get a bit more of a pass mark if they lose because they're missing Dacos and more.
Yeah, but if Brisbane lose, they're going to cop it.
That's going to be the media. Everything, if Brisbane
No
loses...
one talks about it. No one cares about Brisbane.
No, they will.
Without being rude.
They will be in the media all week about their pretenders because they cannot
Paul,
come to Melbourne.
Paul, they've been pretenders for the last 6 years.
But it's going to be the same story. Because
Mate,
all week, this is the game they've got to win. This is their big build-up. It's
100% agree. And that game for me was the Melbourne game where we came in the week after that and you were half glass full. I was half glass empty.
Yep.
And after watching the game, I agree with you. I think there was some positives to take from Brisbane.
Yep.
Now, here is your opportunity. Show us. Show us.
I haven't
Seriously.
been sold on their form for the last 3 weeks.
So you're going Pies, obviously.
Yeah, who are you going?
I'm going to go Collingwood. Marginally.
I think Collingwood win on system.
I tell you what,
They've got a good system, next man up. Frampton.
Actually, you know, I'm going to go the Lions. Sorry. I'm going to go Brisbane. They have to win. Brisbane have to win this game.
Be cool.
Brisbane have to win this game. It's simple as
It's
that.
at Marvel. They play better there.
Brisbane have to win the game.
It's going to be interesting. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Are you going?
Yeah, I'm going, yeah. I'm really looking forward to this game to see, how Collingwood play without Moore and Dacos.
Hey, just quickly, have you ever had a hot dog at Marvel?
No.
Never had a hot dog.
No.
I had an argument with a mate of mine. He reckons the MCG hot dogs are better.
No, I don't.
Fuck, I disagree. I reckon the Marvel ones are better. Anyway, sorry. Apologies.
Nah, that's all right, mate. I usually go to Doc or something before the game.
Oh, not that View de Monde?
No.
Is that too expensive for you?
Nah.
You strike me as a View de Monde or a Rockpool type of guy, Paul.
I just
Come on, mate.
For some reason,
You're in the deep end, mate. At least act like you can swim.
Look, I'm not a hot dog man.
Nah, fair enough.
You a hot dog man, are you?
Love them.
The Don?
Because you have
Is that
five.
the Don? What are they
Mate,
called?
the Don ones are shit. They're the MCG ones.
And
They're
what's that?
shit.
And what's that Marvel?
The Aldi brand. I don't know.
Aldi brand,
It's not that
okay.
good. I like the ones at Marvel.
Mate, I'm more of the chicken and chips. I go the chicken if I'm.
Nah,
gonna eat
mate. I had tonsillitis one day after. Oh, fuck that. Never again.
it. Never again.
Nah.
With a hot dog. I thought you struck me as a pie
done.
man.
I do. I love fun.
there you
Yeah,
go.
it's a
Yeah,
pint of hot
yeah,
dog.
I thought you were a
Come on,
pie.
bro. Look at the size of me, bro. I'm the size of a house, man. All paid for you.
Keeping them in business.
How expensive it is.
It is expensive there.
No.
They love it.
It's expensive. Like
Well, to feed you,
to feed me.
expensive,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah, 100%.
I understand that. I feel sorry for your parents, mate.
No, pal. I look after myself, mate. But that's the inside joke in the country.
Soup. You have soup for
I
dinner,
told
mate.
her, oh, no way. She's dreaming. Saturday, 19th of August, MCG this game.
It's a dead rubber.
Richmond, North
I think
Melbourne. Who think's
Richmond
going to win?
win.
Yeah, Richmond win.
I don't know. You never know, though. It's Zeebel's last game, isn't it?
Move
At
on.
the G.
Congratulations to him. And maybe Goldie. Goldie, I reckon, is going to play on.
He might
Goldie-
get a contract somewhere for 1 year.
Goldie, I reckon, is going to play on.
Not at North, though.
No. And he'll be valuable wherever he goes.
I agree. His numbers are still okay.
Richmond win for me. You?
Richmond.
Yep. Gold Coast Suns, Carlton, Heritage Bank Stadium, 210. It's not greasy conditions here. I'm tipping the Blues.
I'm going
I'm
Gold
telling
Coast.
you, okay, cool, that's fair.
I don't know why. Do
Nah.
you know what? Form says Carlton. I'm going to go Gold
A lot
Coast.
of teams struggle there.
Yeah, I know. I think
But
the
the
Suns
problem-
have been playing good footy since
that's fair.
Drew's gone. I don't know. I'm
But yeah,
worried
they don't
about
wanna-
Mackay coming in and what the selection looks like. And
Yeah.
if they play all of them, you might get run off your feet up there.
We'll see.
We'll
I think
see.
I think the market's got it right. I think
What's
the
Carlton playing?
$1.60, $1.58.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
What do you think they were going to be paying?
$1.40. You've won 8 in a row and you've beaten all top 4 teams. So
Counts
that's
for,
why I
counts
don't
for
know why I'm
very
tipping the
little. Yeah,
Suns.
no, it's
I don't know why.
Paul. Believe me, that's not how these data models work.
Yeah,
It's-
no, I
trust
get
me,
that.
it's
I
not.
don't know. I just think Gold Coast up there, it's not an easy win at the moment, is it?
Nah, it's not. The only thing I will say is, had this game been a 4:40 or a 7 o'clock start, I'd be tipping the Suns.
Yeah.
I just think the fact
We'll
that
get
it's
Chewy at the end.
yeah, no, it won't at 4:30.
Yeah, okay.
when the game finishes at 40, which is why I'm tipping Carlton. I don't think Carlton go that well in the greasy conditions. I know they won on Saturday night
So
against
you're
Melbourne.
bullish on Carlton?
Yeah, bullish on Carlton. I don't know by how much. I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be more than 5 goals or something. I think Carlton will go there and win.
Yep.
Now. Elimination final. Number 1, GWS Essendon, Giants Stadium. I'm actually, honestly, mate, if our Carlton game is not interesting, I'm half a chance to be watching this game.
Well, the Giants win this one, don't they?
I'm not convinced.
Well, you convinced on Essendon on the last 3 weeks? I'm not.
If Sam Draper comes back, it's a different ballgame.
Well, surely they bring him
They got
in.
Dylan
It's do or
Shield.
die this week,
They've got Stringer, Shield, and I know Shield's probably been not to the same extent as Draper, but a fit Sam Draper and a fit Jake Stringer are huge.
The last 4, they lost to the Dogs by 41.
Yep.
They lost to the Swans by 2.
Yep.
They beat West Coast by 1 point.
Who do you think wins?
And they beat North by 9. They've beaten the worst 2 teams by a combined margin of 10 points.
I suppose it doesn't bode well when you put it in that aspect. Who do you think wins?
GWS and easily.
Okay.
Easily.
So we've got 3 elimination finals on Saturday if you haven't worked it out. So St Kilda Geelong. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
You know what? I'm going to define... I know the Geelong's favourite. I think Saints are going to win. I'm going to bet... Sorry, not bet. I'm going to tip.
You will probably end up betting.
Nah. I'm
My
off footy.
ass.
Nah, I won't. Nah. You can't predict the results.
Do you want me to give you the best bet?
What is it?
Honestly? Can you wait though?
Yeah.
Can't win the flag.
If whoever's betting on AFL this year, you'd be losing because it's tough.
Speak on behalf of yourself, mate.
It'd be tough.
No, we had Paul Sebastiani last week come and it tipped up a fucking storm.
Did he?
Mate, he was big on the Crows. Thought Fremantle would win by 10
He said it on
goals.
the line.
Mate, he was wrong on Fremantle. He goes 10 goals. They won by fucking 13 goals.
Well, look,
15 goals.
this week, I'm just going to say, I'm going to tip the Saints because
Yep.
they've been in the 8 all year and Geelong have not been,
They've been, yeah.
they're not consistent, are they?
No, they're not.
Jeez, they'd be spewing about losing to Freo
I wonder
at
if
home, wouldn't you?
I wonder if Tom Hawkins comes back. I'm going to go the Cats. I don't know why. I'm going to go the Cats. The Cats will break them down with speed. I think the Cats small forwards will do them over. The Cats smalls will do them. I'm telling
Cats.
you. The Cats small forwards are the ones that are going to win in the game.
Like I said, when you
Your Stengels, your Myers,
when you're
your
picking these
close.
games, it doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me
It's a
who's going to win
50-50.
either way. But
Yeah.
I
Still
reckon
early.
Saints, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Geelong will probably win.
Fair enough. The third elimination final on Saturday. This is what a super Saturday.
Well,
footy.
this one's
Wow.
on elimination for me because Sydney can afford to drop this one.
Yeah,
feel.
but Adelaide can't.
Adelaide can't.
So
Sorry.
it
Well,
is.
yeah.
Tell me.
Correct. All right. I'm going to go Adelaide at home.
I reckon the Swans will do them.
Who's the favourite?
Adelaide.
Adelaide's a favourite.
Yeah.
Yeah, at home you got to go Adelaide, but
I'm going to go the Swans. I reckon the
Yep.
Swans. Swans will do them.
we'll wait and see.
Fair enough. Fuck, it's a good Saturday.
That is a good
It's
game.
a good Saturday.
Jesus.
Like, don't worry about going to Alhambra or CQ or
No.
wherever the fuck you go. Don't worry about fucking, the Emerson and all those other joints, mate. Just sit at home, watch the footy, mate. I'm telling you.
It is a good
What
day
a
for
what a
women.
Saturday night this is going to be.
Oh, they got the
Sunday.
crossover.
Sunday, Bulldogs versus West Coast. Bulldogs.
Doggies.
Yep. Melbourne v Hawks, 3:20 MCG.
Jeez, wouldn't this be fascinating if Hawks win? Melbourne win.
Well, if they win, they've single-handedly fucked all these teams' finals preparations.
They have.
Except for Colin. I know Collingwood on top, but like they're gonna impact Bulldogs as they have impacted Bulldogs' finals hopes. They may have the opportunity to impact Melbourne's top 4 hopes, or no, not impact it, as in determine whether it's second, third, or fourth.
It's going to be interesting.
Who are you tipping?
Melbourne.
Melbourne here for me too.
Oh, this
Fremantle,
game's this
Port
round.
Adelaide.
Sorry, I didn't realise this game's this round.
Fremantle,
I reckon
Port.
this
Optus,
is a tough
Optus.
game.
Yeah. Port are no morals. Is that what
No,
you're saying?
they're not.
Nah, I know.
Are they favourite?
They are. They're about $1.60 favourites.
Oh. Freo.
Oh!
Freo win.
Do you want to say it again?
Fremantle win.
Okay. Wow. I mean, it's It's not out of the realms of possibilities.
I'm telling you, West Freo.
No, it's not, mate. It's not out of the realms of possibilities.
I'm going to say to you this: Fremantle beat West Coast by 101.
Beat Geelong at home.
They beat Geelong at home. They lost to Brisbane at home by 3.
Yeah,
they only just lost to Brisbane.
I know. It was a Sunday twilight.
By our rankings, Port and Brisbane didn't. I got Brisbane rated higher than Port.
All right,
it's going to be thereabouts.
Can we run through?
Are you going Port?
Yeah, I am, but not.
You're not
really interested in the game. Can we run through your tips again? So, give them to me, please, Paul
Collingwood,
Italiano.
Richmond, Gold Coast, Giants.
You said so. Don't bail it out.
Geelong.
Oh, fuck's sake, come on, bro.
Geelong. I'm going Adelaide, Dogs.
So you actually tip in Geelong?
Freo.
You tip in Geelong?
I'm going to go Geelong.
I reckon that's wise. So Adelaide, okay, so Geelong, Adelaide, Bulldogs, Melbourne.
I can't have too many
roughies.
You can't pick too many roughies, can you?
Yes, you can. You just said to me, anyone who tries to tip in the AFL this year would be losing. Basically insinuating if you back the favourites, you'd be doing your ass. So why can't you back the roughies?
Well, I'll back the roughies then, mate.
Come on, mate. You got to find the value. Brisbane, Richmond, Carlton, GWS, Geelong, Sydney, Bulldogs, Melbourne, Port Adelaide. Have you got not trying to give financial advice? We're not punting advisors to the viewers out there, but have you got something there that you might like? If someone gave you $10 to have a spend, whereabouts are you going?
What's GWS paying?
$1.30, $1.35.
Well, you put your $10 on them, win $3 and buy yourself a large chips at McDonald's.
That doesn't even get you large chips, but thanks anyway.
Might get you a medium. GWS, I don't even
know. You reckon GWS is at the line or head to head?
I don't know the line's here.
Might be about 10.5 or 11.5. Anyway, who cares?
I'll take Giants at the line. At a minus, is it 10.5? Is it?
No, it might be a bit more. No, it's got to be more. I'm gonna say it's 18.5, somewhere around that.
18.5.
Yeah, who cares? You're gonna get it up.
I'll get it up for you.
My best of the round is Geelong. Whatever, both handicap, head to head. Geelong will win. What is that handicap?
18.5.
18.5. It is 18.5, is it?
Geelong's -7.
7.5 point favourites, right. What about that bottom one there? Port, 10.5.
Plus 10.5.
Yeah. All right, leave me out of that game. I want nothing to do with that.
Or Collingwood on the Friday, mate.
Brisbane. Anyway. Paul.
Thank you very much,
good to have you back, mate. And big thank you to all the viewers at home. If you haven't done already, please give us a like. Please subscribe to the channel. It means a lot. And give us your feedback. We've got the All-Australian thing running. I know it's going to create a lot of, it always does create a lot of talk. But look, we're more than happy to gather everyone's opinions and make it some fun. And next week,
be good.
Next week we'll come up with our All-Australian squad.
Can't wait.
Team, not squad.
We've got a team.
None of these 40-man squad.
No.
Thanks for watching. See you next week.